Like at 22 years old, we already got a 6-figure household. I told her all money in, so your money can go to paying the bills. Other money that I use is gonna be all investments.
When it comes to a man, trust is like everything. The moment that trust is broken, it's like hard to get back.
You know how during sex, she said, you gonna have my baby. She took it literal. You wanna be pregnant? Like, you went to, where did this come from? Like, yeah, like, we just got married.
She multiplied you 3 times. So she also multiplied your business, which is what a woman's role should be, to help you multiply.
Of course, looks gonna always be the first thing a man see. Well, men like us, if you know how to hustle, you're more attracted to a woman's mind.
Most definitely.
What's going on? It's your boy Aristotle Investments, and today on this episode, we're gonna talk about love and entrepreneurship, all right? So I have my guests.
Demetrius.
And Diane Walker from Lovepreneurs.
Let's get it. So we're just gonna talk about how it is to be in love and be in entrepreneurship at the same time, and strategies on how to build wealth with your significant other. So we're gonna get right into it. So where are you guys from?
We're from Miami. We live in Miami. We were raised in Philly. But my husband was born there, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was born in Miami. So
Philly's
it's a
my
little
city.
mix. It's a little mix going on, but we live in Miami.
Okay. And nationalities?
I mean, her list is long. You want to get started?
Yours is actually
Nah,
longer.
it
I'm
is.
Dominican. That's it. I'm Dominican.
Okay.
So my dad's black. My mom's side of the family is Italian and Indian.
Like real Indian.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, by the way, I'm Asia Varner, Aristotle's wife. We're going to get more into, I guess, how everything started with you guys. I know you have a great history, a relationship together. So how did you all come about just starting to work together in the love aspect? And then how did you guys start to branch over to the entrepreneurship aspect together?
Demetrius and I, we met in 2001. A mutual friend introduced us. He didn't take him too serious. Yeah, he was still out there, you know. His cat light wasn't on yet, which is okay. But so for 6 years, we kind of just like flirted, maybe on the phone once in a while. We dated separate people at the time, and then I graduated from Temple. We kind of met up again, 2007, and we were inseparable ever since. But what we did, he was already an entrepreneur, right? He can talk about that story, his journey. I wasn't. Straight out of college, I took a consulting gig, and that was my space.
Okay.
But I realized, like, his life was much more fun than mine. Like, I had to wake up at 6:30, be at work at a certain time, traveling a lot, and not really spending time home.
Okay.
And every time we linked up, it's like, oh, I'm good. Yeah, I'm just at a meeting. I'm at this, I'm at that. And I said, why are you getting all this money? What is going on there? So he had properties, and he used to also invest in cars.
Okay.
So if it wasn't an investment opportunity for cars, it was an investment opportunity for property. So I'm like, well, I want some of that too. So I remember telling him, like, how can I, like, I hear what you're saying and people are putting in a certain amount. Like, can I put in some money? And he was like, pay me no mind. And I remember for my job, it was a bank, and I went across the street, took out $10K, and he came up and picked me up for lunch, and I gave him this envelope. He's like, what is this? I'm like, I want it. He's like, man, you don't need that. We all right. And I'm like, no, like, I want you to take me serious. Like, I want to do it. I want it. And he put me in it, and from then on, we kept investing in properties, over properties. And then about 6-7 months later, we said, is this serious? It's serious. So
She was a lot younger back then, and she was just always that thorough young girl. You know, she had her own car, rims, system, the whole nine. Like, it was like, oh, yeah, is she like one of the homies? Or, but, you know, she kept herself together and wasn't never really into anything when it came to like the streets and things like that. So I kind of respected that. I was in the streets, so it was like, I had business, but I was also in the streets. So I'm like, you know what? She not somebody that I'm going to play with like that. You know what I'm saying? And wanted messing her up or anything like that. So we always just kind of stayed friends, but I knew my life and, you know, the way I was living at that time wouldn't have been the healthiest thing for her. So we just always nurtured our relationship, just stayed cool, you know, check in on each other, bump into each other. And then I just got to a point in life where I was like, you know what, I'm ready to take life a little more serious. A lot of things that was going on, hanging out, you know, girls here, girls there. I was just kind of done with it at that point. I wanted to focus on really building the future that I wanted. And I also come from a family. So, you know, I had my mom and dad in the house. I had siblings, so family was always ultimately to go. We got the success side, but the family side got to play a part too, and I wanted success there. So she happened to pop up at the right time in my life where I was like ready to, take things serious and elevate to the next level as a family unit. And obviously I need a wife first before I could had a whole family dynamic. So she popped up at the right time. She was in a place where she was ready for it too. And, we just put our heads together, asked all the right questions, and it's been up ever since.
So how do you go about studying entrepreneurs who are in love, and what is the pool of people you use to study that statistic?
Yeah, so we started case studies. So what happened is we started gravitating towards a community of entrepreneurs, because we both were, and some of them were couples. We were already in the consulting space. Myself in the consulting space through after college, my first job there. And then my husband was consulting real estate projects or different businesses that needed consulting. So we kind of merged that together. And every time he went to consult a project, the person that hired him to consult, for some reason, one of the issues there was always something that had to do with the wife or the husband. Like it was always that, oh, but he or she doesn't want me to invest this, that. So a lot of times he would bring me on to the consulting side of things. So as we kept getting these projects or these consultings with these couples, we started now making them case studies, started doing the research, started doing like the questions, everything, recording everything, became sort of now sit downs of what's happening, and you keep record of all that. And so that became from work to now invite only. So then from that pool, another pool started, we started with entrepreneur couples that were part of this Black Card community that so you will be invite only. So about in 2014, 15, we started inviting couples into this pool and then asking, if you're part of this Lovepreneur journey, can we just document everything? And so to this day, from 2012 on, we still have documentation on these couples, like what happens now, right? And about 72% stay together. The remaining, maybe not so much. They realize that, we're not cut up to actually build something together, which we like to say, is she built for what you're trying to build? And as you realize when you're sitting with someone that is mentoring you and you're asking questions and you're going through different scenarios and you're strategizing on your business plans and your relationship plans, you also realize maybe this person doesn't fit into my 5-year or my 10-year that we were talking about. And that became a pool and case study of couples over the years.
So we talked about when we were there that people who start businesses together statistically stay together longer. And you said statistically that's true.
Yeah.
So through your case studies, walk us down why you think that is true, that couples who build businesses and wealth together last longer.
Yeah, there was actually a case study. It was a study done and it was posted on the Journal of Psychology. And they had a pool of couples. And what they realized with the pool of couples that your net worth will increase by 77% simply by learning and investing in the process of supporting each other. So what did that look like? So the couples that decided to support each other, the couples that said, you know what is it that you need from me? I got your back and I supply that for you, and vice versa. That couple, their personal net worth increased by 77% simply by making a decision of supporting one another. And that's an individual net worth, right? So imagine together, right? So that's something that was, and then there's numerous studies after that claim the same thing, that because if you support each other, your net worth increases. And I mean, you guys are a perfect example of that, right? So what year did you actually became not at this level, but started growing and started becoming? When did that happen? And how close was that from knowing Asia or Asia being involved and supporting your vision?
That was what year that was?
If you can
Technically,
pinpoint.
yeah, I can. I started my business September of 2018. We got married June 2018. So June is a 6 months, so 3 months into marriage. As soon as we got married, we bought an apartment together. I was, of course, I was in the military and she was a full-time college student. So she had a part-time job. I had a full-time job and a side hustle. So, Soon as we got married, our net worth literally increased because the military, like, I was making $2,000 a month, and it went to $4,000 a month. Plus, I was making another $3,000 barbering. So instantly, as soon as we got married, I'm making $7K a month right off the bat. And she was bringing in about 1.5. So we had a 6-figure, like at 22 years old, we already got a 6-figure household. So I told her all money in. So your money can go to paying the bills, and this other money that I use is going to be all investments. So I'm throwing in about 4 to 6K a month. We would still take a trip every once in a while. We were newly married, and we couldn't really go nowhere because I was in the military, like a honeymoon, you know. And we didn't have the money until we got married. You get what I'm saying? Like literally a month into marriage. So that was 2018. Like this stuff happened this fast. Like if I tell you the timeline, you're gonna be like, wow. So we got married in June. By August, you know, it's a steady 8K a month. By December, I got like 20K saved up, something like that. And she ends up being pregnant in December.
Was that planned?
Yes.
Might as well say
It was. No, it was definitely planned.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
It was for sure
'Cause of
planned.
me.
Like it was her. It was all her. Like,
It was.
I'm trying to
admit it.
build a, you know, I'm getting money. If I had to be honest, should I be honest? Should I be
I mean,
transparent?
ain't no wrong with that.
All right, cool. So it's like, you know how during sex you say you're gonna have my baby. She took it literal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like we in the car one day.
Only so many times, you know?
So we in the car one day, and I'm like driving, and then I just see a mug from the side of my. I'm like, what's up with you? And she like, I'm talking about I couldn't have guessed this.
Yeah.
She's like, cause you keep saying you want to have my baby, but blah blah blah, this and that, like, but you ain't taking it serious enough. I'm like, you want to be pregnant? Like, where did this come from? Like,
Right.
yeah, like we just got married. We only been married. You know, this is December. We got 6 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm like, whoa. So I called my mom. She's like, that's what women want. They want to get married. It's a baby. So I'm like, well, forget it. Let's do it. And then we planned it. And then a month later, we had a baby. And like, I started taking the business more serious. I'm making about 10K a month-ish at the time. I had about 20,000 saved up when I found out she was pregnant. And once my business grew to 30K a month, I told her this is too much. Like, you only make 1.5K a month. Like, you have to quit that job. Help me out. Like, don't. And of course, she was like, look, you know, my parents told me never depend on a man no matter what. And I'm like, look, we're married. You pregnant with my child. I can't have you working. You get what I'm saying? Plus, you work outside.
Hold on, I never said that now. Hold on. Pause.
You said
We're
something.
gonna rewind.
Angel said, let's
Hold on,
rewind this.
Hold on.
What happened?
Nah, I never fought against it. Now that was never part of the scenario.
No, I gotta finish it though. Like you end up changing your mind. Like at first you were like on some like, you know, are you serious?
Yeah.
Are you seriously going to look out for me? And I'm like, yes. Like I got you. And she put in her 2 weeks, like one conversation, and she started managing my company, and that made it, you know what I'm saying, like go crazy, like.
Yeah.
Instantly, by the time my son was born, because I was writing books at the time, all that stuff, I had about 300K saved up. She told me she was pregnant in December, literally
December.
2 days before New Year's, so like December 29th, 2018. I'll never forget it. And then August 18th is when my son was born. I had 300K saved up. I went from 20K to 300K. I snapped. You know what I'm saying?
Can we point out 3 points that just happened during those timelines from a lovepreneur perspective, right? From the 77% perspective. She multiplied you 3 times.
Yeah.
So she multiplied you the minute she had your seed, right? She multiplied you when you said, I need you to quit your job. I need you to come over and help me manage this, right? And then after that, you grew. So she also multiplied your business. That is insane, right? Which is what a woman's role should be, to help you multiply. But so many successful men, or so many men that have vision, they miss that part. They miss including their partner into helping manage and multiply. And that's exactly her role, and you let her do that. So
Was that
congrats to
scary?
you.
Was that scary for you, like, at that moment? Like, now you know what you're doing, you got it all down pat, but was that scary in the moment, in that
In
moment?
the moment, absolutely not. I don't know. I was in a zone to where it was just, okay, whatever it is, I'm doing it. Like when I wanted a child, it was like I was in the bathroom one day and I had the thought I want a kid. So I was like, hey, I want a baby. It was just simple.
I was
And then,
confused. She was only 21. No, you were 22 at the time?
yeah,
Yeah, you were 22.
yeah, something just came over me and I was like, look, I want a child. I want to try for a child. And that's what we did. And I got upset, because I really, really wanted to be pregnant ASAP. But, biologically, when you're on birth control and all that thing, that timeline pushes it back a little bit. But I was very ambitious with it. And just when he asked me to help him out with business, I was like, well, shoot, I'm not making much anyways. I don't like this job. I don't want to be here forever. So why not just help him with his empire? Of course, I had to think about it because my first initial trajectory for my success was just to be a psychologist and then to one day open up my own practice. So I did have to think about it from that aspect. I was like, okay, now I have to change up, not going to get my master's, not going to get my doctorate. So that was more so what was behind my mind more than anything.
That's what confused me as to why you wanted to be pregnant, because she was literally valedictorian of her high school,
Yeah.
Doing good in college. I'm in the military.
Yeah.
I haven't even started a business yet. I don't even have my finances together yet. But like, why do you want a child? And you were this ambitious girl before I met who was like, I'm about to own my own psychology practice. All of that stuff. I was like, you just about to give up all that for me? And she was like,
She was just showing you she's ready to multiply.
I didn't get it at the time. You get what I'm saying? Like, especially being so young. I was like, we only took one vacation. Like, let's enjoy life. But she was like, it's what I want.
And you never had no fear, like, inviting her in, right? Because I know it's going to be some guys that may be watching right now that may be in a situation where, like, they got a business or a business idea and they had their spouse with them and the spouse may want to get involved, but they may have fear. Like, what would you say to that person right now?
I would say, know the girl you're dealing with. A lot of men aren't even with smart women. They're with them for looks. So he knows he can't trust her mind. So sometimes it comes with that. Like, you were a trophy instead of a wife.
Help me.
You get what I'm saying? I know we see that all the time.
Yeah.
You just here to look good in front of other people.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
You get what I'm saying? Like, no other talent, no nothing. Just stay you. That's your talent.
That's such a good point.
And
Yeah.
I tell guys all the time, I dated her because of her mind. Of course, looks gonna always be the first thing a man see.
Absolutely.
But then the mind is gonna keep them. The mindset. Well, men like us, if you know how to hustle, you're more attracted to a woman's mind.
Most definitely.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, well, both. You
Yep.
need the package. And that's the best advice I could give him is if you're not even dating a smart girl, like your woman went to college, my woman went to college. You did?
I did. I did, but I didn't finish.
Exactly. So it's like I went to the military. They're scholarly. If they can get that schoolwork done, they can help me manage these finances. If she can literally do that, she can do this.
Yeah.
If she can do her schoolwork, she can do my spreadsheet. She can handle my, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But so me personally, I wouldn't even date a girl who don't go to school. Because I don't feel like they're going to be equipped enough to handle the paperwork that needs to be done for my business.
I mean, it shows diligence, I think is what you mean. Like they're diligent enough, they're determined,
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think it's like the concept of the school is great because there's so many things that come out of that. But for someone that may have a career where they spent, 5-7 years doing administrative work or, accounting.
If
and
she got
things
experience
like
in that, then that's cool.
It's
I just need to know you got
equivalent.
some
You have
type
something.
of administrative, supportive type thing. Like she took, God works in mysterious ways. Like,
Ain't he funny?
That's
crazy.
No, but in a good way.
In a good way.
So
He's funny.
she just so happened, I'm starting my business. Guess what class she's taking as a minor?
What's that?
Website building.
Yep.
So she built my first website.
I was a rookie.
that made me millions.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nobody at this time was my age could build a website that fast. And they confused as to like,
Get it, mama.
how
You know what I mean? Multiplying them.
she
All types of-
built my website.
It aligns so perfect.
And then it aligned so perfectly. And then she went to school for psychology. So I'm in the military and I'm from the hood. I'm crazy. So this is my psychologist. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, so it all worked
Favorite
out
talk.
of managing, you know, me.
Yeah.
And then she cooked and cleaned everything for me. And all I had to do was focus on the business. Like I didn't have to focus on no bills, my next meal, everything I needed. You know what I'm saying? Like even sexual, like everything I needed at the time, she just gave it all to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's dope. And you know, a lot of people struggle with that, especially men, when it comes to that type of trust. You know, because it's like, not only am I trusting you with me, I'm trusting you with my vision. I'm trusting you with the finances. Like it takes a while for certain men to get to that point, and some never
Let me
really
ask
get
you
there.
that. How do you think a man? You mind if I open it for you?
No, absolutely.
How do you think a man develops trust in a woman?
That's a very good question. Really, it comes down to what they're receiving from the woman. Because when it comes to a man, trust is like everything.
Right.
The moment that trust is broken, it's like hard to get back. I feel like more women are more forgiving than men.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Because men are territorial. And the territorial part starts with us as men. So some men may be with a woman and they could give themselves fully to them in a few years. But some men may go 10, 15 years before they really open up the vault, what's inside a man, to give to a woman to trust. Like the trust factor for men is very strong. So I like to identify me as a man, like when it came to my wife, it took me a while, especially, you know, coming from the streets. Like I wasn't taught to trust everybody. So even women I was dealing with, I'm checking you out. I'm saying, how much can I open up to you to trust you? Like, it's one thing trusting with money. Those things could be replaced. But what's inside, once I open up my vault to you, like, it's going down if you don't do what you're supposed to do with that type of trust.
How did you know you could trust her? Like what test did she pass?
Oh, this is a
That
good
makes
one.
sense.
That's a good one.
Let's
So
tell the body chef story, unless you have something else involved.
yeah, that's a good one.
Remind-
So
yeah.
in our dating days, we were out one day doing some shopping or something, and my guys from my body shop called, needed me to
By the
come.
way, not shopping on me, because that took a while. So we'll talk about that later. But probably shopping for car parts or something.
And so my guys called me, and I told her, I was like, listen, I got to stop by the shop. My guys got something they need me to help them figure out. So went to the shop. I go in the back. I bring her in the office and let her just stay in the office. I'm
This is
like,
my
"Give me a
first
few
time at the
minutes."
shop. You know, like I'm always either outside. This is my first time actually says, come in real quick because I got to go in the back.
Okay.
I said, give me a few minutes. I'm going to the back, and then I'll be back. So I'm in the back, you know, troubleshooting the problem with one of the cars. And it probably took me like 40 minutes. And I come back up front in the office, and I mean, the office is spotless. Files are in order. Go in the bathroom spotless. Like, you know, it was all guys there. We weren't worried about, at that time, we weren't worried about having the place all in order.
Yeah.
But I came back up front, and she did it without me asking. So like, those are signs of somebody you can trust, you know, to complete a task. Like, you give somebody a task to complete, how fast do they complete it? How
Again,
well do they complete it?
Multiplying you.
Those are areas of trust. Like, if I can trust you to do this, maybe I could trust you for the next level.
You know, it's crazy. That's a similar story. Like I had to do an inspection in the Army, where they come in and do your room. So I'm a barber, everything. You know, I clean my room like a guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, get it right. Man, she was like, nah, you're not finna do no inspection like this. I'm like, what's wrong with it? She's like, too much clutter. Yeah, it's neat, but it's clutter.
Yeah.
And she did it all right. And then like, I like got a day off because I had the most spotless room, but they didn't know she cleaned it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a competition. Who could, yeah. And then I was like, yeah, she cleaned it.
Can we give clarity to men with that example? How you didn't confuse that with control. Right. And then there's a clear boundary too.
Right.
Let's toast.
Yeah, for
Well,
sure.
since we're here, I definitely want to start a toast first. Oh, no, you go, because I think you had in mind what I had.
Yeah, I know I want to definitely make sure we toast up to y'all new accomplishment.
Yes.
Okay.
Buying y'all new building, the things that you got planned for the community, just in some of the time we talked, man. Like
Yeah.
I really, really, really want to congratulate y'all and give y'all roses while y'all here. And to the community of Atlanta, he got some crazy things that they are putting together for y'all. And we just here to support. We just want to toast to
Thank
that.
you. Appreciate it.
And I want to toast to your serving hearts. I was talking
Yeah.
to you yesterday, talking about you guys yesterday with a friend that was at the event the other day. And I described you guys as you love to serve. And we noticed that from the cruise to the other event we were together. So I want to toast to that, because that's not natural and you can't learn that. So shout
What
out
do you
to
mean
you
by
guys for that.
serve?
Yeah, that is,
You're a serving heart. What y'all need? Y'all need that? Nah, use my camera guy. You want this? Nah, just go ahead and do that. You want this? Nah, why don't you grab that? That's not, it's natural to you, because you guys are like that. And if you're already serving at this level, I can already imagine the levels that you're heading to, the accomplishments that you're heading to. If you got serving down packed now, imagine what you'll do for the city of Atlanta and the world, because you're serving heart. So we toast to that.
And you learn how to serve each other, serve the community, and it's, you know, as your businesses grow, you know, serving is
serve
going to be
your
something
team.
that y'all implement into the business for your staff. So it's so many benefits to that, but it's
Serve
just
your
something
way
to
to
celebrate.
success is what we say. So
most definitely.
Thank you.
salute.
Thank you. Have you always wanted to invest in stocks, learn the stock market, interested in trading to earn another stream of income? Let's just say the average person in America makes $20 an hour. That's only $160 after an 8-hour shift. With my best-selling option trading beginners course, 6-step process to being a profitable trader, free books, and you even get to watch videos of me teaching celebrities like DC Young Fly from scratch. I can cut your time to make $200 plus in a day in just 1 to 2 hours. Don't believe me? Check out these gangs of accounts from different people that I help flip their accounts 100%. Yes, that means double the money in their accounts. For only $35, you get the best beginners course, 1 week access to my world famous trading signals. I have an 85% win rate already this year, 30 plus hours of additional training, a library of free books, a free beginners Q&A session with you at the end of the week via Zoom link. And I meet up with my community at all the major cities in America annually. You're basically in free because the return on investment I'll give you for only $35, just $5 a day, will 10x. Think about it. If the world shuts down again like the 2020 pandemic, how will you survive if your job decides to lay you off? All of these robots are taking our jobs, but they can't take the stock market. This stream of income could be earned while at home, no boss, and no behind kissing. Tap in. Link in the description, or I'll pin the link in the comments. Keep watching.
Now I want to piggyback on something that you said. You said that the money portion wasn't the issue for trusting. But we all know sometimes that's the biggest issue for most men today.
Yep.
So how would you, I guess, give insight on how a man could trust a woman with his finances?
Definitely. So it comes down to the patterns. That's something that you got to study in your woman or in your partner. It's not just for women, men and women. You have to study your partner to see how they handle and manage money. Even before you get serious with somebody, that's something that you should identify. So for me, like, it came down to even when we started getting serious, like when I realized like this really may go somewhere, I had my wife go and open up a bank account at a bank that somebody I know was manager of, and pull her credit to see what the credit looked like. Like,
Let's
I
tell the
need to
full
know
story.
how-
We got some heat last time we talked about it on podcast. We got some heat. We got some heat on it. So yeah, just get more specific.
I needed to find out how she managed her credit, how she managed finances of her own. Before you handle mine, I want to see how you handle yours. So it's just following the patterns of people and studying them. If you follow and study the patterns of people, you'll find out a lot that you need to know without even asking them. And so that's what I did. And she was actually much more organized than me. I came from the streets. You know what I mean? Like, we was hustlers. We made it happen. We figured it out. In terms of organization, that wasn't really my strong point at that point. she came with that coming from corporate America. Everything was organized with her. And we bumped heads about that. But it was something that I was able to see that she did well with her own. And that's what allowed me to give the trust that she could handle, finances on our end together. So
Yeah, we talk about this often. Like, so for entrepreneurship partners, period, right? The trust factors would be, can I trust you emotionally? Can I trust you physically? Right? So emotionally, can I be vulnerable enough to speak to you and know that you're not going to throw it in my face later, right? You're not going to judge me for it. Can I trust you physically? Do I know that if we do have an altercation, it's not going to get physical, right? Can I trust you financially? Case in point, do I know that you're going to pay the bills on time if I'm not around? Do you have me? Is it going to be consistent? Are you going to be an overspender? Are you going to be able to sacrifice with me when it's time to sacrifice? You're not just a spender, but you'll also sacrifice. And what would be the other one? Trust factor. Like cheating. Like, can I trust you with my heart? Right? Is this going to be something that we can ride together? Or are you 1 foot in, 1 foot out? Right. So those are the 4 things that are important.
and also you as you just mentioned, that throwing back up and like, can I trust that you won't take something I give you and throw it back in my face? For the woman, that is something that you do not want to do with men. If you really want your man to trust you and open up and give you 100% him, that's one of the biggest things that will stop a man from giving you 100% them and trusting you. If things that he tell you about his past, his current, his struggles, his weaknesses, don't take that stuff, put it in your vault, and then when you get mad or he do something you don't like, you take it and throw it back up in his face. That will definitely keep you on the outside more than on the inside.
Yeah, what men love is their woman to be safe haven. A lot of women say, "Oh, all they want is sex." Yes, sex is important, but being their safe space, being someone that they can come to at their most vulnerable time, share their visions, and you not laugh. Share their goals and you not dismiss them. That is creating a safe space for
I
your
think that's a great point, because I see a lot of men, and especially if the woman is a breadwinner, the way they talk to their men. Let's dive into that. What's that dynamic like when a woman makes more money than a man?
Have you guys studied a case like that?
Well, yeah, because now
Those are bad.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah.
To me, they are.
you got a little gang related, as we like to call it. Let me just say that the reason why lovepreneurship is so great, that type of relationship, is because it creates purpose in the relationship, right? Which again, you guys created purpose in the relationship. You both have something to fight for, right? So that's purpose. And then it creates equality. Again, financial equality. So if you and I are doing this together, we're building these enterprises together, there's financial equality. There is no throwing it in your face how much you're making, right? If anything, the arguments may be more so on, hey, I'm doing a lot on my end. Can you kind of help out in this area? That's where the inequality happens, but you don't have to worry about financial inequality. And with the third one, just being able to grow together. That growth in your relationship gives you something to look forward to, right? So those are the 3 reasons why the lovepreneurship journey is so important. Why should I build with my partner? But as you're right, there's certain relationships where one was already an entrepreneur and she may have been the woman, and then the man is like, well, I don't have that much vision. I don't know what to do with me. What do I do? With those type of couples that we have in our community, we cultivate, we structure their 5-10 year to aim to get together and build it together, so that there isn't that inequality in the growth in the relationship. But the beginning stages of how they speak to each other, how they treat each other, it does get very disrespectful. And as we know, for a man, the number one thing, their love language is respect, right? Which is why most of those relationships, we have about 84% of those relationships don't work out.
83% of relationships where the woman is the breadwinner
making more
don't
money
work out.
don't work out because of that, or there's infidelity. Maybe it wasn't over, maybe it's not a divorce, but there's infidelity, right? Something made it unsuccessful. No, it's normally with the man, the one that isn't making
because he gonna
a
feel
lot of money.
disrespected.
He feels less than, and it's because a lot of actions, and a lot of the actions are not just because maybe the way the woman speaks to them. That may not have been the issue. The infidelity really comes from the man not feeling like they part of the woman's life, and there's no purpose in the relationship,
hunt.
and they're seeking for the hunts. I'm gonna pass the ball to my husband right there because he'll talk about that.
Yes, it's super key to be able to identify these things and have these conversations even up front. There's so many conversations couples don't have before it gets way too serious. But you get situations where we may have started like this, and let's just say for the woman may have invested in herself, got tired of dealing with what she was dealing with. She elevated. She invested in herself and she elevated. The guy may have never elevated, or he may just be in a field that does not pay as well as the field that she may be in. And so it starts getting separation. And now the woman goes here, she's going up, elevating, she's around more successful men, she's thriving, her business is great, she's hanging out doing things at different price points than what she did with her husband. And now she's got to go home and look for that husband, but she's looking down on him. She's not looking where they might have started here, and now he's no longer attractive. So now I'm gonna just talk to him the way I want to. I'm really frustrated because I got to come home and look at you because I'm around these men that's making $10 million a year, and I got to come to you that's making $50,000 a year, and vice versa. It goes both ways, men and women. We started talking about women, so I'm just using a woman, but it goes both ways. It's important to equally invest, but at the end of the day, if you're not a part of a community, you don't have the right support system that will help you and say, hey, listen, well, y'all got married, it's to death do us part. How do y'all figure out how to be on the same page with each other? How can he support you? His business or his job may not make the money that you make, but how can he support you in what you're doing? To bring that value to the table where it's like, it's not looked at as my money and his money. Like, how do we do this together where we can build something, bring your strengths to the table, my strengths to the table, and make this work? Or what do we need to invest to help you come up?
Right.
Like,
crazy.
one way or another, there was some type of support. He may be home watching the kids while she was out doing her thing and vice versa. So you just got to realize it takes 100 days to build something. I'm using the 100 days, but you understand what I'm saying? Like, it could take you 100 days to build something and one day to lose it.
Right.
You can't get so bigger than yourself where you feel like you've made it and things will never turn around. Anybody that's been in business long enough knows that there's seasons of business. The elevator doesn't go up the entire time you're in business. Elevator will take stops. It may come down a couple floors, go back up. So you got to be humble enough to realize, like, this is the person I chose. This is the person I'm going to stick with, work with. And let's get some outside help if we need to. What a lot of couples do is like, oh, well, we tried counseling. Because when we say we have case studies, these case studies are couples we work with. It's not just something like we studied online. We work with hundreds of couples over the years. And they'll be like, all right, well, we had counseling. But y'all had counseling by people that are not entrepreneurs. You got to get counseling from counselors that are entrepreneurs as well, because the problems are different.
Yeah.
And so being able to get that outside help and that third party is very fruitful, especially when you feel like you're sitting on top of the world and it's your first time sitting on top of the world. This is a different ballgame for some that may have had great success, lost it all, or, might have took a really strong dip in their business and rebuilt. It's a different level of humble for that person. So first time around having success, you feel like you're sitting on top of the world. You don't know what's around the corner. You don't know that something might happen health-wise or business-wise where you're going to need that partner that you're talking down to. Like, it's more to this life than just business and success. And you just got to remember, like, if you have the partner that you chose, they may not be the strongest help financially, but what other areas do they play a role of support in your life and also moving forward in the future? If something happens, is this somebody that's going to have my back? Is this somebody that's going to nurture me back to good health? Like, you got to think about all those things because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow in life. So it's just really being able to get that third party, get that help to get involved, to help explain some things or help you guys build the other person's value, or how do I get the support from this person, even though it may not be financially. There's a lot of ways to support somebody and nurture them towards success.
I always say, if success doesn't humble you, failure's going to have to. And so you don't want to get to a point where you're reaching success, which is why they may start talking down at their partner because they feel like they're at a certain level. You don't want to get to that point where now, failure has to humble you because success didn't.
how I look at it when we're talking about the different levels, do you guys agree that once a person feels like they're growing to a certain standpoint, do they need to immediately involve their partner with what they're doing instead of waiting until they get all the way up here and then like, oh no, like let me pull you up from ground
question.
zero.
I
Like,
think they should get
where do you
immediately.
ask in between that portion of, okay, well, I know that I want to be here. So what can you do to gravitate up with me instead of waiting until it's too late?
Yeah, no, absolutely, immediately. When we speak at conferences, we love doing those because we realize and we ask there, like, how many of you guys here are dating, seriously dating, or married? And, 70, 80% will probably raise their hand. They have someone. And it's like, well, okay, keep your hand raised if they're here with you. And it goes down to like 30%. And it's like, why did you guys leave your partner at home when you're getting fed this type of information? It's usually business conferences, right? And it's like, well, how do you leave your partner at home while you're being fed this valuable information? Now you're expecting to take a doggy bag of this information home
Right.
for them to heat up in a microwave. It's not going to taste the same. So what does that look like? You hype, you get all this information, you're excited to invest another $100,000 in something, and you go home and you're excited and they're like, what are you talking about?
Right.
Now
It's a
they're
different-
like dismissing your vision, don't understand why you're so excited. And then you get frustrated. It's like, you don't
Right.
understand why you don't support me, and all that type of conversation happens. It's like, well, they weren't there. So immediately, the moment, case in point, the moment you said, I think this is what I want to do, you shared it with her. She understood the vision. And the minute you said, I need some help, can you get involved? Instead, there are some men out there that would rather, or women that would rather say, this is my business, you stay in your job, I got this. I'm not going through no stress with you and have to go back and forth. I mean, the attitude, the neck, all that stuff, You were wise enough, like some old Solomon wisdom enough, which is what I call it for my men, to say, you know what? You're not going to build nobody else's vision. You're going to build ours. I'm going to need you to quit that job. We're going to figure this out. And whatever role you need to play, we'll play. We have a devotional. We call it our Lovepreneur 12 Commandments, because these are the 12 things. Every couple in this case study, no matter what, these 12 things are consistent. And the number one thing we found that helps a lovepreneurship type of relationship succeed, number one, know your role. And as soon as you inserted her in, coincidentally, website building. Coincidentally, that's what you needed. But you knew what you needed. God lined it up for you, and it was a success. If you can filter your mind enough, avoid all the distractions, avoid the people that are not adding to your vision. Distraction stands for disaction. So if there's anyone in your life dismissing action from your life, they're a distraction. Get them out of your life. Distractions. Avoid all those distractions. You will realize that who you need in your circle, in your camp, is exactly who you need to elevate.
And also people tend to forget when they, reach a certain pinnacle in success, they forget ground zero.
Right.
When that person was there with them rolling up their sleeves, to help get the business off the ground, might have been even more impactful than the person with the vision at that moment. And then one person goes up and gets successful and forget about all the things that person was willing to sacrifice, emptying the bank accounts, maxing out on credit cards. Like, there's so many different things, watching the kids while you go all over the place. For a man or a woman, it's just not right to then go and get successful and treat the other person like they had nothing to do with it. Do I believe everybody should help in the elevation? 1,000%. But a lot of couples and a lot of people that do get successful, even if it's not their partner, there's some people that they had that was there supporting them at ground zero to help push things off the floor. So just don't forget those moments and those people.
And that's a form of arrogance of what you just described. That person is a form of being arrogant.
A dude said one time, Gilbert Arenas, he said, if you're a woman and you let another woman manage your man, you failed him. That is true. Like if he's you better be a secretary, you better be something. I personally tell women, I think it's personally impossible to make a man lock in if you're not in his business. Me personally, entrepreneur man, no.
Yeah.
I don't, I haven't I don't even know what the workforce looks like or feels like during marriage because you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've been an entrepreneur the whole time. We've been married. Even though I was in the Army, I quit the Army the moment I made $10K in a month mentally.
Yeah.
I'm like, but I got a contract.
Yeah.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm an entrepreneur. I even told them I want out. They were like, no. And they were like, you just because you are rich, we're gonna punish you.
Wow.
You gonna finish this year out. You know what I'm saying? So it was a punish. My last year was punishment. You know what I'm saying? So I mentally checked out of it. You know what I'm saying? But she was there the whole step of the way. Even though
Get
it
it,
was
mamas.
even though it was my capital that started up, I don't look at it like it's my capital because of how much value she brought. I know for a fact I wouldn't have scaled past 8 figures without her. You know what I'm saying? And dudes be like, why start a business with your girl? And I say, for reasons like this. More time in the business, meaning like if you start the business with people, they work a schedule. When you start a business with your girl, this could be at 5 o'clock at night. Both of y'all still work.
It's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle. Like I can wake up at night and say, baby, check this business idea out. I can't call people I work with. They're gonna be like, it ain't time to be talking. You get what I'm saying? So I get more done than you do. And then, you know, I tell guys all the time, women save you time. I don't have to think about my meals. I don't have to think about whether the bill's gonna get paid. I don't have to think about my taxes. I don't have to think about whether the website is upkept. I don't have to think about anything I bought, the real estate properties I be buying. I don't gotta think about it. I just say, baby, this is what I wanna do, go execute it. You know what I'm saying? She'll go execute it. So for that, she deserves half of everything. You know what I'm saying? Just like we said when we were at the couples meeting, you know, we had a personal conversation and I made an interesting point. I was like, look, we don't have a prenup, so 50% of this money is yours. So that means you have to do 50% of the work, whether you mad, tired, this and that. Like, this is your money too. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know what I mean? You don't want this company to grow, then not that she said that, but
Right,
like, if that's ever an option for you, you're shooting yourself in the foot. You know what I'm saying? So however far I go, that's how far you go. So let's take it to the moon. And after that conversation, it's just, even though we were already like, you know, up 8 figures, it was just like, hey, we're gonna get to 100 M's. This is the mindset we gotta have. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm cool with 50. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just playing. Well, you know, but like we look at it as 50-50. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is half. But, you know, because the money doesn't matter to us, it makes it even better. You get what I'm saying?
You
Like, if
enjoying
the
the
money
journey.
mattered, she could have checked out already. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm good. I'm cool right here. You know what I mean? It's not about that.
I you know, we've spent some time since we've met each other together in the country, out of the country, and because this is something that we do, you know, we watch everything, and you guys complimented each other the entire time that we've been together. Each time we've been together, you guys have complimented each other. Even if we're in a conversation, and this is just something I know it's because I do it with my wife as well. If we're walking in as a group and going to do it, you're not going 50 steps in a building without making sure your wife is right there with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're ordering food, you're not ordering all your food and walking away and not incorporating your wife to make sure that she's getting food too. So the energy that y'all have for each other, I understand why things took off, you know, as fast as they did. You guys were like divinely connected when y'all got together. So I just commend you, you know, for that. Like, some men get to a point where they get success and, you know, like I said, their wife's just like, is a second thought at that point. Like, you literally are locked in on your wife all the time when we've been
I'll
out
say
together.
this, it's like, it depends on what type of man you are. I am a very passionate person. Loyalty is very strong to me. I am also someone who really doesn't like fake. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm a very realist.
For sure.
So if you're a smart man, you gonna one day wake up and be like, the realest person is the woman next to me. You get what I'm saying? The one who don't want no money from me, don't want anything from me but my time. Now, granted, I've never been broke with her transparently. You get what I'm saying? Like the least I've had was like 3K since she's known me personally. And that's because I've just always been a hustler. And that's broke to me, 3,000. You get what I'm saying? Like,
For sure.
like, that's
Sure.
broke. That's broke. That's the last time I was broke. But yeah, like the best thing I could say is the man is the leader of the relationship. We set the tone.
Definitely.
And men do not understand that. Women want to be led no matter how they tell you they're an alpha woman, they're this, they're that. Every
sure.
woman can be sat down
Definitely.
by the right man. Right?
Yep.
If she gets out alpha by a man, she'll sit down. You get what I'm saying? That's what I tell men. So they be like, man, my girl won't sit down. I'm like, cause you
She don't
don't
trust
alpha
you
her.
enough.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I tell a man all the time, there's 4 ways to make women submit. And that's sexually. You have to make them submit sexually, financially. I would say financially first. I don't know.
You started already.
I would say
Do
it's 1A, 1B.
Financially.
Financially, sexually, respect too. Like you have to women really are attracted to men who can dominate them but also respect them. Chivalry. You know what I mean? Open doors, don't put your hands on her, things like that. That's very commendable as a man if you can, you know what I'm saying, do that. And just setting the tone. I always tell men, there's conflict. You have to be the one to break the ice and be like, and you got to be okay with that. You know how some people be like, well, I apologized last time.
Yeah. It's your turn.
Nah, it ain't like that. As a man, like this is your relationship to keep together. Expecting a woman to apologize to you all the time is not manly in my opinion. You get what I'm saying? Like, no, now granted, you have to instill values in your woman to say, hey, you have to take accountability too.
Absolutely.
But at the end of the day, if there's a situation where we have to make amends, the man has to lead that. Period. You get what I'm saying? And if you as the man are out of control, then the relationship is out of control.
1000%.
So the man has to literally be the most patient person in the relationship. Even if the woman is patient, he has to be controlled. You get what I'm saying? What's your opinion on that?
No, I agree 1000%. What I would honestly say, like, especially as you're building a relationship, it's one thing when you got a lot of years in, y'all know each other, y'all know each other's triggers, but as you're trying to figure your partner out, definitely as a man, you have to have those like, my wife's Dominican. And I don't know if y'all got Dominican friends or family, but they different, you know.
You guys are Caribbean, right? Are you from? No. Why did we think they were?
I just dress in a lot of African attire.
I saw something in Jamaica. Yeah, that's right. That's hilarious. Yeah.
So, you know, Daddy, what was I just saying? That just threw me off.
That
a
I'm
little bit.
Dominican.
All right, so
Oh,
she's
yeah.
Dominican.
Case in point.
She
So
got an
as we
attitude.
were dating, you know, everything they talk loud. Like even till this day, her mom, I love you to death, you know that. When they talk, they're talking loud. When I first came around, and I've dated other Spanish women, I thought they were like beefing when they were having conversations. I'm like, oh no, they're conversing like their mother and daughter talk, but it was just loud and it was like passion behind it. It's like, okay, this is just a little bit different. So I had to learn that culture. But I've had patience, you know, obviously that same energy will come to me too. And I used to be like, calm down, you don't gotta be so loud. Like let's talk. We could talk through this, but your passion is just too much right now. And that also is a gift. But at the beginning, I didn't realize that. But I was patient enough to say, okay, I'm gonna give it some time to see where this goes and have those conversations that we talk about it for me to get an understanding of who she is, her background, her history, how they talk, how they communicate. So many men is like, off the rip, they just like, oh no, she don't know how to communicate. Well, you gotta learn her communication style.
Right.
Like she gotta learn your communication style. Right. What you like, what she like, what you don't like, what she doesn't like. And so that was something that we had to work through together. But if I didn't have patience as a man, we wouldn't be sitting here right now.
And if he wasn't consistent, so our cultural differences, that made us butt heads a lot because I am very passionate and loud, determined. And for him was like, are you disrespectful. Sometimes it came off disrespectful. Sometimes it came off controlling. Sometimes it came off like I'm trying to go beyond his vision or beyond. So we needed to control that. And I'll never forget the day that I learned, and to my ladies, that you're loud and passionate. That is gracious, because I prayed for grace. And I think a lot of times people say, no, but you're so gracious. And yeah, I prayed for this. God has been cultivating this in me for a few years now, but I wasn't always like this.
Yeah.
And I remember the day he introduced the concept to me of, this is simple, y'all, but I didn't know. So whoever don't know, I hope this helps you. I can control my emotions. What?
That is that's
That has a
tricky
control
one.
button?
Yeah.
No. So this is a serious conversation. Just like, I'm like, wait a minute. Are you telling me that my emotions like a toaster? And I can do 1 if I want, just a little heat, or I can go 10 and it's burnt. And if I stick to like a 2 or 3, we good? It was like, exactly. You don't have to be loud all the time. I'm like, really? Okay, well, okay.
Yeah,
So
man, I always gotta tell them, like, when they're heated, you gotta talk.
bring it down.
You can't do all that yelling.
Yeah.
I'm not
Literally
beefing.
go up there.
Here's my thing, and I told her this from the beginning. Like, if I'm not going to beef with somebody in the street, I'm not coming home to beef with you. Like,
what?
I'm just not going for that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So those are just standards that we had to put in place. Like, if that's what you're used to, I am not your guy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because again, home should be a safe haven. It's when I'm out battling in these streets every day. I come home, I need a safe haven.
That's true.
Somewhere I ain't wearing a hat, but if I had a hat, I could hang my hat and be excited. Like, I know guys that don't want to go home. They can't stand being home. They will literally hang out in bars and strip clubs and everything till they know their family is asleep, then go home.
Right.
Not to have to deal with that. I'm like, I'm not living like that. So let's talk about it. Let's put some standards in place. If I have a standard that I want to put in place, I want to hear what the standards you would like to put in place as well. But disrespect is something that we just not going to do. I'm not going to disrespect you. I've never called my wife out of her name. I don't raise my voice at her. Never put my hands on her in, a hurting way. Of course, I put my hands on her, but, not in a hurtful way. That's a standard that I put in place. So if I got to abide by my standards, you got to abide by yours. And even with the emotion controlling it, like knowing when it's time to be passionate, but you ain't got to always be passionate about everything. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just like I got to know when I can be passionate or not when it comes to you. Being able to read the room too. You know what I mean? Right. I don't know what you went through, but I'm going to be passionate with you and I don't know what the day looked like for you. Let's talk through that first. Let's see where you are here, because I'm trying to get a message across to you and you're not even hearing me because you mentally where you were all day. So let's talk about that first. And then we can decide when it's time to, turn it up a little bit and turn it down. So that's
and we're even
that's
teaching our children that, especially my son, right? I mean, if we want to get into the society, the men, how many men are in jail compared to the women and all that. But a lot of men make these bad decisions because they never learned how to control their emotions. And me as a woman, thank God I married a man that understood what controlling his emotions meant. Right. So, but I didn't. So if I wasn't introduced to the idea, me as a mom, I wouldn't even be kind of cultivating that environment for my son as well. Right. So I hope you guys get that, because it's such a key, not only to a successful relationship, but also to raising your children, especially the boys out here, so that they're making right decisions at the right time. So to your point, we agree with you. The man should cultivate and have a standard for his relationship.
Yeah, it's your boy Lil Baby. I'm right here with Aristotle Investment.
Poppy C, you got with me too. Hey, what's up? It's your girl, Big Glow, and I'm right here with my boy Aristotle.
Let's get it.
He about to teach me about these dividends and saving money.
It's your boy DC Young Fly, man. I'm here with my boy Aristotle.
Shout out to Aristotle. I took his class.
Man, this dude is the truth, dog. He just put me on game on like investments, dividends, stock market.
I sit around with a bunch of my friends and we talk about stocks all day now.
Man, I'm telling you, man, it's crazy. Stupid knowledge, you dig?
I've learned so much. Aristotle has put my trading level on top.
I done learned so much about stock trading, options in particular. It's really changed my whole life and concept about money and investing.
This dude taking people off the corner, man.
I can honestly just say that, like, before Aristotle, dude, I was trading off of impulse. A little bit of stuff I learned off of YouTube. But this package, it's the real deal. It'll get you trading off of real facts. You'll be able to back check, and you'll be able to know what you're doing, not just jump in because you think it's right.
I really should go check out their campaign if you really got something going on. Y'all know me, I'm trying to get my 100 M's any kind of way I can. Yeah.
This is Aristotle Investments, and welcome to Stock Sundays, where I go over a recap of last week's top news you may have missed, option trade recaps and strategies I take, important data and earnings to look forward to, a watch list for next week. And if you stay to the end, I do a live Q&A.
Live. Every Sunday.
Tap in.
I'm going to start talking on language to my independent women, because sometimes there's a few words we threw out there in this interview. I'm pretty sure they're going to be in the comments like, damn, that ain't right. So I'm going to speak to y'all because I think we can both agree, being independent women before our husbands and having our own visions, that there are certain things that's like, does that mean I don't have a voice? No. One of the agreements that my husband and I had is, okay, I get to control my emotions. I'm learning how to do that. But it doesn't mean I can't speak.
Right.
So what that meant was, but there had to be a SOP put in place for that, if you will, right? So what does that mean exactly? So if I'm upset about something or disagree about something or just very passionate about something, right? And it may not be the time, one of us is called the diffuser, and he's the diffuser because he knows how to naturally control his emotions in the environment. He's natural at that. So he's what in the Lovepreneur community, what we call the diffuser. So he'll be the one that has every right to like raise the red flag and be like, not right now. This is going not in the way it should. Let's stop this conversation. Me, as a woman that needs to voice my wisdom or opinion, is like, hold on, what do you mean I can't say what I gotta say? It's like real Rosie Perez. And he's like, no, we'll talk about it, but let's revisit that either tonight or tomorrow morning. Here's the key, fellas. If you're gonna be the diffuser to an independent woman that wants to be heard, make sure you keep your word on when you're gonna talk about it, because that's when she starts losing disrespect, right? Let me explain. If you want your woman to be gracious, you have to follow the rule of grace. Here's grace for you. You have to be full of gratitude. You have to be full of respect, right? You have to be full of admiration. You have to be consistent, and you have to have empathy. So if you follow those 5 things, you will have a gracious woman by your side. I was not full of grace because I was still in warrior mode. And we talked about that we have a private couples event, and conversations can get real transparent. And my husband got transparent, and I always cry when we talk about this. But my mom and I, we were in warrior mode for years, right? My mom's single parent. I was born in Miami. She was trying to get away from my biological dad. The relationship wasn't healthy in many ways. And she's like, I don't want to raise my daughter in this environment. We out. So we leave Miami, just her and I, and we move different places, Texas, Connecticut, New York. And finally, we land in Philadelphia, right? So it was years of homelessness, years of just figuring it out. And finally, she remarried. I was like 16. And I met my husband when I was 18, but seriously started dating at 24, 25, something like that. And so at that time, I'm still in warrior mode. It was just my mom and I. We figured it out. No, here comes this guy. You good, let your guard down. Everything's all right. It's like, no. I've been fighting all this time. I'm going to continue fighting. But he figured out how to unarm me. And that took years. Even while we were married, we'll never forget the day he was like, it's always a fight with you. Like, I'm not here to battle you. And from my perspective, this is not fight. You want to see fight? Like, my fight look a whole nother way. I have the guns on me constantly. I'm like ready to shoot. Where are we shooting at? So what he translated as me always fighting, to me, it wasn't even a fight. Like, I have levels of this like that too. So I'm always on a 10. All you seeing is a 6. Like, this is nothing. And I think sometimes if we can be clear on what that looks like, what he saw was disrespect, I had no idea it was disrespect. I tell my ladies, watch your 3 T's, y'all. Again, to my independent women, watch your 3 T's. Watch your tone, watch your tongue, and watch the time. And we spoke about that. Watch your tone, how you're speaking what you're saying. I can say something with the most gracious voice, but what I'm saying is really me checking him. And he wouldn't see it that way because my tone was just so gracious. What words I'm choosing, rolling off my tongue, is also very important. Choosing the right words to say to him also came across a little differently to him. And then obviously managing the time. Is it the time right now for me to say what I really want to say in a gracious way, right? Is it the time right now, or should I wait till tomorrow, or maybe even next week?
If a man has a stressful day or he's going through stressful periods, as a woman, it is very important not to also add to that.
1000%.
Like, no matter if you're mad, if you see your man is stressful, it is like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he needs comfort at that moment. But then if you come home and add to that, now he doesn't want to be home because I'm fighting the world and I'm fighting home. You get what I'm saying?
Sure.
And it's crazy because you said he had to take you out of warrior mode. She the one taking me out of that. I was the one like in warrior mode constantly. I'm still like that to this day in a weird way. Like fighting the world. And you know, it's hard being the number one player, if that makes sense. People look at me like that, even though I'm just good at growing my business. That's how I see it. I don't see it as me trying to outdo anyone, but I have to constantly fight the world for that reason because you're, you know, a threat in a weird way, right? So she's conscious of that. That, you know, like I'm very guarded. You know what I'm saying? As you can see, you're only gonna see me with like the same 5 people because I'm extra like careful with what outside relationships I have, you know.
Are you guys spiritual in any way? Like, it's okay if I insert something in here? And shout out to Pastor Darius. He's here from Atlanta Change Church. We were just there on Mother's Day and he talked about this. And it's someone that I studied anyway. So I was so happy he touched on this topic. He has such a Lovepreneur sermon, right? And it was about Abigail. And for me, I talked about the Lovepreneur women. And one of the Lovepreneur women is Abigail, which remind me of what you just said. And what he mentioned Sunday was Abigail had to sacrifice, not at that moment, not submitting to her husband, just for a quick second. The Bible says quickly, he emphasized quickly, just for a quick second, and had to confront who could have potentially been her husband's enemy. And she knew how to create peace in the situation so that they wouldn't lose their wealth. And what I love about that is that you recognized, and you're speaking it now, her wisdom. And you're saying she's disarming me. When most men, what you're going through right now, what they're saying at home to their woman is, you're trying to change me and control me. Stop. What you say is, no, she is disarming me and preparing me for what's next to come. She's providing me my peace. And that's what Abigail did in the Bible. And to most men, and again, Nabal, he was rich. He had all the money in the world. He was fine.
Nabal was the husband.
Nabal was the husband. But the point of Nabal, the point that Pastor Darius said about Nabal is that, yes, he was wealthy. That didn't mean he was wealthy in all areas of his life. And I think too often time in this type of relationship, because I'm amazing in this area, that means I'm amazing in all areas. No, everyone has some kind of deficit. And if we are wise enough to realize our deficit, we would realize that the partner that you have at home is actually not your enemy. It's actually your enemy not realizing that what you have as a deficit, they have as a asset. And that's her asset to you. But you recognize that. So therefore, you're going to increase and multiply because you realize what she has to offer in your life.
But it takes vision and leadership for that. Where a lot of men, like, they don't think, like, even having those conversations with my wife, being able to know, like, all right, we're going to stop this conversation here. It's because I got vision. I know where this will go. This won't lead us anywhere successful if I allow this to keep going. And just imagine how many areas of life, if you can be diligent enough to know, as a visionary and as a leader, to know when to do something, when not to, but not shutting your partner out. Like, I want to hear from my wife. Nobody, no one on this planet can catch my blind spots the way my wife can. And so I realized that and value it. And a lot of men, you have to, even if you feel like, well, she don't know anything about this business. It's not everything in the business that you would think firsthand, like, oh, she don't know marketing. There's other areas that your wife and your spouse can cover you that nobody else can, because nobody knows your weaknesses to the level of the person you sleep next to every night.
Men, in my opinion, too, need to work better on communication. Like I said, we are the leaders of. So a lot of men be like, man, I want my girl to do this. And I'm like, did you tell her to do it?
Yeah.
He be like, no, what she should. I'm like, see, don't we get mad at women when they try to make us read their minds? So it's the same way.
Yeah.
You as a man always trying to get well, she knows she needs to lose weight.
Yep.
Did you express that to her? Well, she knows she need to help. She see me doing my business. Did she blah, blah, blah? Like, express that to her. You get what I'm saying? Like every role that my wife plays was me saying, hey, can you help me with this? You as a man is either the quarterback or the point guard, whatever you want to call yourself. That's what you are in your relationship.
That's right.
And in business, you're constantly giving out commands and it never stops. You get what I'm saying? Like,
that's so good.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
sure.
It never stops. You are always passing the ball, making sure everybody in the right position. That's your job as a man.
Every day.
And her job is to be the support and cast and help you, do this. But she can't do what you not expressing her to do. You get what I'm saying? And a lot of men miss that in their relationship. Some men have great women who will help them. He's not using her correctly. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, bro, you got a smart woman. You don't know how to use her. It's your job to figure out what positions to put her in.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Tell her, hey, I need you to go learn this for this reason. Like right now, my wife is learning human resources. You know what I'm saying? Because she knows my business needs it.
Yeah.
So now I'm thinking, okay, what do I need to learn? You get what I'm saying? Like whatever is for the business, she'll learn for me. You know what I mean?
And you're going to trust her in that area.
Right.
Oh yeah, it's too easy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I want to. Sorry.
No, you go.
And I want to say, just for the woman aspect, I'm pretty sure you can relate. Those changes that you have to make in a relationship, you have to, the ego may be up here, that, oh, you can't change me. All of those things that maybe you were taught when you were younger and your mama said, don't let nobody, all those, that got to go. All of that has to go. You have to develop a new mindset when you're with a partner, because then you do have to change certain things. You have to adapt to certain things. You have to be more receptive to certain things. You can't just always be like, well, if I didn't have to do it before, why do I have to do it now? That's always an issue. Like women always complain about, oh, well, if you liked it before, then why you don't like it now? Like, why are you changing on me? Why are you doing this? It's because we as people don't understand that as we do get older, we do change. Our perspectives do change. And I didn't really understand it at first either. Because being so young, you don't know everything. You don't understand everything. But once you do start to understand, everything is so much smoother. Once you stop fighting, once you stop trying to go what auntie said and what mama and them said and how their so-called values were, even though they don't have anything to show for it. You get what I mean? Their relationships are over, but you're still trying to use their advice that they gave you for your relationship. You have to change it. Your dynamic and your perspectives have to come from within. So whatever you guys agree upon, it may not be somebody else's relationship that, works for you all. Their perspectives may not be the same for you, but whatever you and your partner agrees on, that's what you stick by. And that's what's going to keep you.
That's so good. So good that I hope y'all caught that. The goal in a relationship is to become one. When you marry a partner, it is to become one.
Yeah.
But what a lot of times people don't realize is becoming one takes time. But that should be the goal, because the moment we become one, now we have one vision. We're on one accord at that point. Our money is one. Like, everything can become one if you're willing to put in the work and have that as the vision. Like, if you over here and you over there and you got this vision, I got this, that's division. That's divided, which leads to divorce.
Right.
You got to have that one vision, as we like to say, different positions. I got a position I play. She has a position she plays. But even now, we've been married. October will be 14 years married. We're still working on that. The goal being one.
Yeah. I don't think it ever stops.
That's fact. I always tell people be like, what makes people grow apart? I said, I'm going to tell you what it is. And this is why I believe that people who start businesses actually succeed better. It's because from what I see all the time is one person's going that way, other person going this way. I'm a doctor, you're a lawyer. It sounds good because we both two career people, professionals, but this is where I'm going. This is where you're going. So unless we figure out how we can supplement these two incomes, so we can start a real estate business, we can start, I don't know, a few chain of clubs, whatever we want to do, we have to figure out how we can get away from these two things and come back together. If not, this is going to ruin both of us because you're spending 12 hours over there, I'm spending 12 hours over here. We're both tired when we get home. We only got 1 hour of free time. We got a kid. We can't raise them because we're You get what I'm saying? That's why I say I don't even see no other way other than this. You get what I mean? Or if someone has a nice career and someone stays at home, then I can see that working out. I can't see two people with two separate careers working out. I don't see that.
That's such a good point. I remember we speak about this quite often when we first started out. You know, being in real estate, there would be times where, like, you know, we have to go down to Illinois to get permits and things like that for properties. And I remember my wife telling me, like, you know, let me go to the counter to get the permit. And I used to be like, oh, like, I'm a man, I got it. Like, that's what I'm supposed to do, right? Whole time I didn't realize I was tripping, holding myself up. And then one day I was just like, you know what? Like, every time we would go, she would say, like, let me handle it. And I was like, all right, cool. One day I was like, cool. I was having trouble getting these permits for one property. And she went up to the counter. There was a guy there. She got the permits in no time. So I was holding myself back, holding wealth back by me being ignorant, feeling like, you know, I'm the man, I got it, I'm supposed to handle this. If I would have been thinking like two become one, let's run the play, how we gonna make this happen? So after that happened, what we realized talking through it is, all right, if it's a woman at the counter, I'm gonna go get the permits. If it's a man at the counter, I'm gonna let you do that. And then we also started incorporating that when we were like going through neighborhoods for properties. Like we do the research and we find out what properties we want to go. We go knock on doors, and if the information was for a man, I would let her lead to the door. I would still be there, you know, watching. She was able to get sales that I probably wouldn't have going to the door as a man, to another man. She's beautiful. She has a nice presentation. She know how to talk. And it just worked out. But I could have been the one in business like, well, this is my business. So no, I got it. A lot of areas I started like that, being younger and ignorant to the value that she brought to the table. You got to be willing to find out what value. If she may not be able to explain value that she brings to the table, but the more y'all work with each other, the more you're open to allowing her to do the things that she wants to do. Yeah, everything's not going to go perfect. You're going to make mistakes. She's going to make mistakes. I'm going to make mistakes. But the more we practice it and the more we in agreement to what our vision is, the more you get to see the value that your partner brings to the table that you had no idea. They didn't even have any idea.
Yeah. So one of the things we say is you can't lead what you don't manage. So you can't lead me in an area that you don't know how to manage. That's not your strength. You're not consistent in that area. So how do you expect to lead a flock? Definitely not going to be able to lead your wife or someone in your business. So if you understand your role, your weaknesses, your strengths, it doesn't mean you're not great at it. You may be good at something, but your partner may be great at it. So let them execute on that, you know, and vice versa. So I want to say something about the submission part. Can we go back on that a little bit? Because I think, and again, just might have been a few things in there that the independent women may say, hopefully they didn't shut us up.
It's the truth.
Remember what independent woman means.
I ain't gonna lie, I don't care about that.
I know.
I personally think women need to hear reality.
No, 100%.
Because women are cuddled their whole lives. No one's, you know, if a girl's overweight, no one's telling her like, hey, you know what I'm saying? But if you're a bigger guy, you're gonna get fat jokes every day. I tell my boy he big here all the time.
What up, Jeff? What up, Jeff?
You get what I'm saying? Like, but imagine if you tell that same joke to a woman. It's offensive. Women get cuddled their entire lives. So sometimes they may very well be delusional. You get what I'm saying? So saying stuff like, hey, you must sexually in order for a woman to submit, she needs to be dominated sexually, financially, respect, and what's the other thing I think too?
Physically or no?
That was sexual.
Okay.
And the respect is kind of like not putting your hands on the chivalry. And it was fourth one that I said was very important. I don't think you need to dominate your woman socially or, you know, how popular you are. That really doesn't matter. But I do believe sexually and financially are very, very important.
100%.
Like,
So
yeah.
for a female, to the men out there, you know, receiving this information, a woman can't submit if there's no mission. That's why it's called submission, right? So if you don't have a destination in mind, she's gonna fill in the blanks for you, and she's just gonna have to figure it out. Right? So you can't get upset she's not submitting to you because you don't have a mission in place.
Facts.
The moment you have a mission, she is ready to multiply because she's ready to manage, because that's what she was put on this earth to do for you. But since you are not really putting her to work yet, she is then malfunctioning, which what you're calling is malfunctioning, being disrespectful, not submitting, doing what she wants, mouthy, however you want to call it, whatever you want to put in there as a malfunctioning, you can do that. But she's not malfunctioning. You are just not using the equipment that you have at home correctly.
I want to talk about this. What are some of the first steps you believe couples should take if they're trying to, because I know what they're going to ask. Okay, you guys are giving us advice. I work over here. He works over there. What are the first steps we should do to bring this together?
Okay. Well, I have 4 things I need to identify, and then you can add yours, right? I have 4 things you need to identify in this dynamic so that then you can put some pointers in there and create a game plan, right? So number 1, who's the risk taker? It can be both of y'all, but who is the risk taker? Who's willing to take the risk? Number 2, who's the administrator? Third one is who's the organizer. And the 4th one, who is the networker. You need those 4 things in any organization or in this lovepreneur relationship. You need those 4 things to figure out. And if one of you guys are not any of these things, then you know to hire in that area. But you gotta have this. Once you identify these things, now you know, okay, what business should we start? The risk taker should be the one to identify that, the visionaire. Who's going to be the one administrating? Who's going to be the one organizing? Who's going to be the one making them sales and networking? That will help you build on a mission or vision that you may possibly have.
1,000%. And one bonus to that would be this. Who's better at managing finances? That's super key to add to those 4, because that makes or breaks a lot of relationships. If neither one is good at finances, then y'all need to hire somebody or bring somebody in to help out. Even if you're starting with little money, somebody's got to get educated on how to properly handle finances when it comes to building business.
That'll be you if you're the man. I believe financial literacy, the man must be more financially literate, in my opinion. Not all the time, but I just think it just really, really helps for the dynamic, because you have to be the money grower. You are the money grower. That is your respect as a man in your family. The provider.
But even if the man is not the best with finance, he may be great at creating finances. He may not be good with managing it.
Yeah.
So if the
which is normally the organizer.
That's me.
Yeah.
I'm good with creating it. I got to get her to manage all that.
Same here. My wife manages for the most part, because me, I'm putting it all to work anyway. So she gonna make sure what's being needs to get taken care of is being taken care of. But when it comes to the big investments and flipping money and things like that, that's definitely me. I'll bring it in and I throw it a hoop and she slam dunks it.
During marriage, joint or separate accounts?
So there's 4 accounts, right? So four types of accounts. So our businesses have their accounts, some that he's main in. If he's 100% owner of that was only on him. If we're 49 and 51, then whoever the greatest one is on that one and manages that one. Then we have our own personal accounts separately, and then ours together.
Ours is full blown joint.
All of it.
Yeah. But it's full access to, everybody has full access to everything. So it's not like our money is joint. We just have it,
separate.
Parked different
for legal
places.
Reasons, for legal reasons, kind of talk to your accountant, check out on that. There's certain things
you have to
that is
separate.
Just all him, just in case, all me. Can't be touched. I got nothing to do with none of that over there. So you want to make sure you kind of separate it legal wise.
That part,
Yeah.
So
that part.
Doing stuff like that, but like for the most part,
As far as like,
we like to see all of them. As long as
Right.
both of you can see all of
For
the money,
sure,
it really don't
1000%.
matter where
All
it
handwritten.
is. But
That
for us, we find it easier to see all the money jointly.
We
But
with you
most
on
of the
that.
time, it's running through mine, but she's managing it.
Right.
But
yeah,
like,
right.
it really doesn't matter because
Yeah.
once again, we don't have a prenup. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
what's
neither do
mine
we.
is hers regardless. And if I try to during marriage, they just go what? The judge gonna be like, they gonna find that account. You know what I'm saying? So it,
And there's like, I know this is probably gonna come up for some people. It's not that we don't believe in prenups, because there are certain situations that I feel like prenups should be in place.
Right.
But there's all different ways of structuring prenups too. Not that I'm an expert at prenups, because we don't have it. But there are ways to structure it depending on, like, if somebody's worth for 100 million and somebody works $50,000 job, obviously it's going to be a big difference. Like, you don't even know where to start to manage $100 million. So a prenup for that situation, I believe, is,
For sure.
should be put in
Situations
place.
if you
like
came
that.
in with an M and the
If you
person
already
didn't,
there.
then yeah.
yeah.
I personally do y'all think so too, that people work better when they grow their wealth versus when a person's already wealthy?
Yeah.
I
Well,
think so too.
statistically within our case studies, it works out better if we are investing in each other simultaneously, because that's not broken down into pieces, right? We did it together, but did one stick and continue to grow with you? Or did we start, now we live in the lifestyle, you can go shop and be whatever you want to be, and I'm still hustling over here. Now that created a division again. They started together, but then they started creating this mindset of, I'm still going to keep going. You just be home and chill out. And now they're no longer involved or injected in the business anymore. So there's pieces and layers to that. But if you start together, as there are over 3 million couples right now that are lovepreneurs, 3 million that work together like you guys do, like we do. If they start off and they continue on the same path, yes, the chances of you succeeding are greater than doing it the other way.
But there's also situations that, you know, if you have a partner that's just horrible with money, it may not be the time to give them access to everything, even though you may see it as your money. So you might have to be the one more disciplined to say, hey, we're going to work on you in this area. Let's get you help in this area. But if you have a partner that will dip in the account and take $10,000 to go blow it, obviously you're not going to be a fool over and over again. You wind up, you know, with nothing. Right. So there's all different ways of structuring things. And I honestly believe it's case by case. But if you have two people that are on the same page, we like to call it the power of agreement, especially for couples that are starting out. You got to have an agreement in place. Like, we need to talk about what it is that we want to do. What are our goals? What do we want to accomplish over the next 3, 5, 10 years? And then we have to come to agreement that both parties are on the same page about that. Because again, our goal is to become one. So we have to take what we have, the visions, the goals and dreams that we have, put it on the table, and let's agree that we're in alignment with this. Even if it is, you got a barbershop and you got a hair salon. I'm just using this for examples. You may know nothing about the hair salon. You may know nothing about a barbershop, but you can still support each other in that, right? And so we're building as one. Even though there may be two separate businesses, we're still building as one. We have an agreement of what we're doing. Okay, my goal is to have 10 barbershops, yours to have 10 hair salons, or you might want 2, I want 10. How do we support each other to make sure that both of what we do is in one and we grow it together?
We're in alignment. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, we have a gift for y'all before we go, right?
Let's do it.
So just to be clear, Lovepreneurship is a community of entrepreneur couples, support, resources. You know, we travel together. We offer the whole nine of the support system and the structure you need to build an empire together, right? We do have counseling services within our organization. We are not counselors, we're your coaches, right? So we coach you with the structure, culture with the environment that you're trying to cultivate when it comes to business and love in your relationship. A counselor addresses the pain of the past. Coaches make sure that they guide you and coach you towards your future, right? So that's what Lovepreneur is. So we wanted to gift you guys, right? One of what we call, watch what's inside. You like packaging, because I saw some of your stuff in the front. You love packaging. So this will be nice for you. So this is our Lovepreneur bag. And in the Lovepreneur bag. Ta-da. All right, it's our Lovepreneur box, and the pleasure of opening it. It's a lot of goodies in here. So we're going to have Asia open some stuff up.
Let me open it
As
up.
you guys
right.
spread the word in the front, as you spread the word that lovepreneurship is worth it, right? You would say love and business, is it worth it?
Oh, that's cute. That is awesome.
Well, there's a lot in there. Do you
Wait.
want to take it out on here or no? On the
Sure.
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
I don't see why we.
Do you think?
Yeah. All right.
While we
It's
do
here
that,
for both
while
of y'all.
she's pulling that out, like, what do you guys do for a living exactly? If we don't mind us asking.
Absolutely. A great question. So I'm a real estate developer. I develop, right now in this season, there's a lot of multifamily buildings that we're working on right now. We have other businesses as well. So for the rest of our life, we got things set. We're continuing to buy and develop real estate and buying and partnering in businesses. That's what we do. And also Lovepreneur, we do business counseling. Business consulting as well.
So y'all got brick and mortar, online, and y'all have a daycare.
I mean, this is years. This is like
we have multiple
17
businesses,
years.
brick and mortar,
Got you.
and some that are not brick and mortar. We're partnered in businesses and been in business and real estate for 2 decades now. So
And y'all do all of that together.
do it together.
Sure.
That's amazing.
Dope. Yeah, nothing tearing y'all apart. When somebody builds something together, it's
That's
where you going and where she going.
Exactly.
You know what I'm
And
saying?
that's the greater
that's
part.
right.
That's the great part about having an agreement and being on the same page. Because even if, let's just say you got a day y'all not feeling each other, right? If y'all in business together, y'all got meetings together, y'all got to speak. You got to communicate because it's like, all right, cool, we mad right now, but we got a meeting at 3
I think
o'clock.
that's the reason why they can't win, because it's
That's
like,
the point,
like
yeah.
right after the argument, like, okay, well, people got to get paid tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
You got
Hey, somebody got to get paid tomorrow, and you know, you don't want to work a job again.
Absolutely.
I don't want to work a job again. So you know what I'm saying? And
Yep.
I don't trust nobody to start a business with again. Do
Absolutely.
you?
Yeah.
And she like,
Yeah.
nah.
Absolutely
I'm like, well,
not.
I guess we got to work this out.
I didn't feel you right now, but did you submit payroll?
Right.
Hey,
This is the Love is Dope journal. So far what we missed was, what's this shirt?
Oh,
This
right
is
here.
your, this is, you got,
This is two.
you're twinning with your shirts.
okay.
And the shirts have, you were reading this. Do you want to read it, Asia?
Sure. Lovepreneur, love business, not war. Perfect. And what
And
is
the
it?
sleeve.
Attraction based on business goals, chemistry, sexual affection, and tenderness felt by lovers. 2, one who organizes, manages, and assumes the risk with a partner of building an enterprise.
Does that describe y'all?
Yeah,
That's
for
exactly
sure.
who you guys are.
Most
And then
definitely.
the sleeves is the 77%, the one we were talking
Yeah, I was
about.
looking at that.
Yep, couples that support each other in their goals, visions, and dreams enjoy 77% higher net worth than couples that don't.
That's amazing.
I would say our net worth probably went past like, if there's like $1 million%. That's probably
Like
what
$1
it did.
million.
Since
Same here.
Case in point. So would you say that
Crazy.
that study is correct? It's
Most
accurate.
definitely.
So y'all got a lot of, that's what we're building right now is our empire. You know, we just bought this and then we plan to buy a new business every year.
Yep.
Whether we trying to diversify our portfolios, stocks, real estate, all types of different accounts, high yield savings accounts. We've been very diversified, but this piece of real estate is really going to add a boost to our diversification. And then the amount of support, the amount of people who rock with us. Because I feel like with any project, it's about the person who buys it. I bought it, which makes the building more valuable because everybody, you know, I'm a peaceful person. People just rock with me.
Yeah.
That's why I asked if you guys were spirituals, okay? Because we have our devotional, the 12 Commandments, and it's based all biblical, but it's all lovepreneur. What we've learned, case studies. So it's the 12 Commandments that every couple should should follow if
The
you're
fact
an
that y'all
entrepreneur
had
couple.
this like on hand is dope.
Right. This is absolutely
Right, because
amazing.
we like called y'all last minute. But you asked me, you sent me a text. I was like, man, just come through the day.
Yeah.
You know, it was like before we go
So
back
it's
to
like a
Miami.
hidden-
Yeah, so
lock it
it's
in.
what's
Yeah.
it's his and
One
hers.
of
So you get to
one
pick
of
what
the
you want.
strongest things or most important things that I would definitely offer to people that may be watching in business as you building your empire, don't be a one-man band, remember, one-man bands don't really make it to the big stage. Make sure you are cultivating teams as you are expanding your empire and building businesses. If you're looking to acquire a business or start something, you can never grow further than what your team is. And yes, you may have to switch out players. You might have to hire somebody that gets you to a certain point. It might have to hire somebody else. But what I've seen in consulting, one of the biggest downfalls, especially in our culture, is the lack of investing in your team when it comes to training. That's super important. Like, don't just hire people and expect just because they say they got 5 or 10 years experience at this or that or whatever you hired them for, that they're going to do it in a way that you want it done in your company that aligns with your vision. As you are hiring, of course, qualified people, like once you start building, you got to go beyond the sister, brother, cousin, mom, or dad that they need a job, so you just put them in a position. You want to hire qualified people, but even with those people being qualified, it's important that you keep consistent training within your organization, whether it's internal or external. I recommend external as well. But that is one of the most important pieces that a lot of businesses that I've worked with, they don't utilize that tool, and it will stagnate your business if you're not consistently training, because the goal is to grow, right? So if we want our business to grow, we got to make sure we're also growing our people. So having, corporate retreats are good, and just bringing in the right people that specifically teach on some of the things that may be a weakness, or if you're looking to elevate to the next level in a certain area or department of the business, bringing people in that could speak and train directly on that is super key. But if you are the CEO of your business, you got to make sure you're getting training for your COO, and everybody else that's on your leadership team is super, super important.
Well, y'all hear it here. We got we brought in the experts for the first episode. So that's the crazy thing about it. Like, we've been talking about doing this for the longest, and to, have the people who actually do this. That's the first, believe it or not, when I first saw y'all on the cruise, I was like, wow, like they're literally doing the vision that we didn't want to make it a business. We just wanted to have conversations. You get what I'm saying? Like, we not really, we're social, but not that social. You get what I'm saying? Like we get in and get out. But that concludes our episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode and get plenty of gems on how to grow wealth with your partner, how to be peaceful with your partner. And you guys heard it here, 77% of people who grow wealth together, succeed in what they do. So make sure y'all take heed to that number. That is a high probability setup. And whether it's stocks, there's high probability setups in that. Whether it's real estate, you got your multifamilies. Whether it's, so in a relationship, you have to have what is called a high probability setup. And from what we see is starting businesses together or building wealth together keeps people together, period. All right. So make sure y'all tap in. We're going to keep dropping these episodes. It's your boy Aristotle, my wife Asia,
Diane,
Demetrius Walker.
See y'all for the next episode. Let's get it. Here's why you need to get this ebook right now. It is the best stock market ebook on the market. And to cater to you guys' short attention spans, everything I can't say on one page, I say in the video. So all you gotta do is click watch video, and it'll go straight to a video. What's going on, Mythbusters? Okay. Let's get this thing started. Let's get this through. You'll see that I'm talking swinging about a lot. Is something we're always going to be doing, day trading especially. Facebook users, click the link. Instagram users, you can simply comment the word book on any of my posts or under this post to get the link sent to your DM for the book. It is $24. It will literally teach you from A to Z how to get started. Let's get it.